video and I'll add you in. Hi guys! Say hi!
I feel important right now.
Go on to the BTC page.
That's what I think it is.
And I will add you. Oh my god, yeah. Hi guys! Oh, you could do it from Crystal's. You got a request to be in it. You have to request to be in it. Who's talking? Okay. No, I'm telling Cash she has to request to be in it. You have to request to be in the video. Okay, yeah.
How do I do it?
How do you do what?
Add you in, because I'm on live right now. Tried to look you up, but it wasn't for some reason stuff for me.
Oh, probably because it's from my page. It's from the page.
Oh, so what does the page go?
It's Be the Change. Hope Dealer, the
What's up, guys?
main page.
I don't have it. That's all right.
Donnie will show you. 30 seconds.
Man of the hour.
You guys want to check out more Good Hope for Change page? On there too.
Crystal, do you love me? Will you? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Yep. What's going on, Rochester? Be the Change Radio in the house. How's everyone doing?
Good, good.
Come on, Rochester.
Woo-hoo.
So we have a full house today. We have Brandon, we have Cass, we have Adrian, and we have Tim.
Hey.
So rule of thumb, guys, for our new guests coming on, make sure you get close to the mics. Tim is on to share his story and help educate about addiction and talk about where his addiction took him. And, you know, he's here and sober and healthy now. And we're super proud of him. Tim.
Welcome, Tim.
Thank you.
We're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
So, how long you got clean?
I'll be coming up on 3 months. April 7th, 2018 was my clean day.
Hey,
I know. There you go.
that's awesome. So, what made you decide it was time?
Honestly, like, I really didn't want it. And a friend of mine, like, really pushed me into doing it this time. But I still didn't want it. But it was the pain after, like, of not using drugs. And I had enough. And when I got into the rooms, the people told me I don't ever have to feel that way again. And it sounded really good.
Right. It's so amazing to not have to go out and chase. And that's a big part of why we as Hope Healers do what we do, because it reminds us, you know, where we don't have to go back to. And if we do pick up, where we're going to end up being.
Yeah, doing our cleanup is like very humbling, and that's one of the biggest parts of my project, trying to stay humble, because I get to see what's going on out there every week.
Right.
So I don't forget where I came from.
Service work always helps.
Just gotta keep pushing. So Ted, tell us a little bit about your story. All right. I guess I'll start from my childhood. Both my parents were addicts, and they gave me up at a very early age. I don't remember a lot of it. I went through a lot of foster care, and there was a lot of abuse, and there was a lot of alcohol and drugs in the foster care. Adopted, beautiful people. Still my adopted parents were amazing. But I don't know, I always felt like I'm not unaccepted, unwanted. And if I look back to it, I honestly think like even before the drugs, I was already addicted. Like I would steal, like everything. Like if I went to the store, I stole like everything. My father would have to like search up and like take the candy, and we used to have to like go back and like give it to the store.
Right.
And I don't know. It's like I can't remember a lot of things, but I can remember my first drink exactly to the T. I went in a parents' liquor cabinet, found a bottle of cream de mint liquor, poured it, and drank like the full glass.
Wow. How old were you at this point?
13.
Wow.
But I don't want to say like I arrived, but it definitely like made me feel really good. I remember watching like Saturday Night Live, like my friends like sleeping over, and I was laughing, having fun. He had to drag me upstairs. At 13, trying to climb out the window to see my super serious girlfriend at 13. And I passed out and woke up and puked. But I just know I knew I wanted to like do it again, like however that felt. Then it was about like a year, and I didn't really do much alcohol. Somebody introduced me to marijuana, and that's where it was at too. Like I love the effects of that. So I'd say I thought it was, you know, drinking on the weekends, stuff like that.
Is that her job?
Yeah.
Screenwriter?
The cocaine at 23, and that what I really liked. I never considered it a problem though, because I did it for like the next 15 years. Held jobs down, everything. I think where I really spiraled down was when I got introduced to heroin. And I wasn't one of those
How
people
old
that
were
did
you then?
36.
36.
Yeah.
You never know.
Right.
Yeah.
Could be any age.
Yeah. Yeah. And I never messed with pills. Nothing. I remember like maybe in my 20s somebody gave me some Oxys and I mixed it with the GHB. Got really sick, never touched it. Never touched it. I should have known this on like as soon as like I took cocaine up, I had to that's all I wanted to do. And I was working at this restaurant, and one of the guys was a heroin addict, and I used to get pain medication only once in a while because my feet would hurt. And he said, I have heroin, it's the same thing as Vicodin. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See how they
And
get you?
I mean, it's a little different.
yeah.
Just a little.
And I did it, and it wasn't what I thought it was. Like, I had energy, like, I was running around the kitchen, I worked like a 20-hour day, it was like amazing. And the next day, I like, slept the whole day, but that didn't stop me. I would kind of try to control it. It started like every couple days, and I swear within 2 weeks, I was sniffing it, and then I started hanging out with my buddy, and he was injecting it. He never did that before. And it looked really interesting. And I kept asking him to do it. He would do it for me. And finally, I talked him into it. He did it. I don't want to say I was completely sold. I wasn't completely sold on injecting drugs until and that's where I was sold.
Okay.
Like, that's where I arrived.
Now you arrive.
Right.
Yeah, that was that one place where I just that was it. That's all I wanted to do, and everything spiraled from that. I couldn't even hold down jobs, anything. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I worked at really good jobs. They tried to pay for my treatment. Not enough. Wasn't ready. I still wanted more. I don't know. This time was different. I don't know. Like I said, I actually met the home fielders, and they helped me out. I was on the streets.
Really?
Yeah, and yeah, and I was living at the shelter. And I think the scariest part was I wasn't even really scared where I was at. Like I just didn't.
You just felt at home.
Yeah, like it was okay.
Like complacent almost?
Yeah, like complacent. Like it was okay to be running around and stealing and having no home and doing all kinds of these crazy things. Like it just, I don't know. It's just like getting used to it. And a friend took me in, and they were the ones that kind of pushed me into doing a halfway house where I'm at right now, and that kind of changed my life too.
How long were you in there? How long have you been in there?
It'll be almost 3 months. 16th of July.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm just different. Like I can't go back home this time.
Is your family closed off in support?
They were like both of them, and that's actually changed too. Like I stole them, and they crushed them. Yeah, training more, and they have good. I remember reading about it. Now I'm like,
Yes.
Did that help you get into recovery?
yeah, I remember like when I was like in the interrogation room, like the cop kept asking me about all this stuff, and I finally broke down and I cried, and I was like, yeah, I did that. And then when they were taking the me, I had a criminal action charge. Like, with that,
All this stuff, and I finally broke down.
I remember I felt me all right, let me up. Laughed. I would have stayed.
Yeah.
Like yeah, not to like go back to manipulate like I always do. It's huge. You know,
Right.
Like this time when I came in, I didn't have anybody. Like I barely had friends anymore, and I didn't have me, so it kind of pushed me to go seek like people in the 12-step programs. And
So is this your bottom, you would say?
yeah, I'd say it was my bottom, but it was my emotional bottom too.
Absolutely.
Like that was it. Like I couldn't do it anymore. Like I was so broken. Like I honestly, like the last couple of days is the first time I've been happy. Like I've cried for like 3 months straight. Yeah.
Sometimes you
Gotta
need
get it
to.
out.
That's what it takes sometimes.
I mean, for so long we shut ourselves down from our emotions. That it's so hard and such a hard process of us getting back in touch with who our inner person is, our childhood self. That's amazing.
Well, too, like you guys are teaching me too. Like, like me, other people. I didn't even like.
You go to like
I do outpatient. They have a program like to make work young men. The young
Wait, where is that residence? Which residence?
it's down in Eunice.
Oh, okay. I was at the
Yeah. So I might be able to volunteer and like work with them, which is like amazing because if I can help younger guys, maybe not go the path I
Mm-hmm.
well.
Yeah, there's tons of organizations out there that you can volunteer for
Yeah.
that are extremely beneficial in recovery to them and yourself.
Well, for me, like the service was like super important. Like, I didn't even realize how it really does and how it really helps. Or even I reach out for addict. Like, it's not just helping me, it's helping them. And that actually helped me reach out, like knowing I'm coming out. Because otherwise I would just sit there and I would sit and I don't want to be.
I mean, I did it. Give me that. I'm glad that you really recognize.
And some service work is just like the smallest thing, you know, like, for example, or open the door to that have stuff in their hands of service, and like it's like the small thing of joining organizations, helping out at the hospital, being that in your mouth and being for the group. Those are all service works. That everything that you're doing.
I like huge do that. And like coming, guys were like, "Whoa!"
Yes.
So the stigma, we're more punished and shunned.
And you said something I want to touch on too, that you don't want to be clean and miserable, and I think that's huge because one of my biggest challenges in recovery was trying to find ways to enjoy myself without using drugs or alcohol. I mean, I've known a lot of people that have gotten clean, and once they get clean, they don't really know how to have fun being clean, and it leads them right back out onto the streets again. So
yeah, we were just talking about this. Like recovery was like and just be okay in the moment. You know, like we party and we burned. It was just
It really was.
yes.
First came in, I think a lot of people we isolate. We're not comfortable hanging out with people. We're not comfortable talking to other people out. We're now like going doing fun activities. It's like when you're a kid and things you're not drink. Like we do all those activities and so much.
Right.
When I cleaned up, just to do normal things, I felt like a guy off the left, starting all over. Like I feel like a little kid.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like I don't know, me it's huge. I do things now that I just haven't done in years that just make me feel good and satisfying, knowing that I'm like positive, productive society right now, and not being that scumbag or whatever, however you want to. But yeah, life is just so much better. I tell people all the time, I am the life of the party. I'll come to a party or something, and I mean a sober party, and I don't need to have a drink. I don't need to have any of that. Great time.
You're very dark sense of humor.
Dark.
So I just want to say this really quick because we have a few watchers who are watching the show via our Facebook page, Hope Dealers BTC. And we have Craig who just celebrated a year yesterday.
Yes, Craig.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Amazing. That's such a milestone. And then we have Scott who's listening, and he was talking about people, places, and things, and that's such a huge thing for us. Yeah, and I think if we sometimes, like us going back into the areas that we once used in, we do it with support. We make sure that we're with the right people. And that's what recovery is about, is connection. Like you were just saying, Tim, you had felt disconnected, but now you're connected to all of these people and all of these tools and support systems. And that's freaking awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
We are going to take a quick break in just a second.
I do just want to say Scott Brooks on our chat feed said that he has 11 months clean. Congratulations, that's awesome.
Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
be in the
I'm
change.
Please check us out right now, 106.3.
Yeah.
That's
And Adrian is he's been a guest before. We love him. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
By
I
the way.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
And we'll talk a little bit about Hope Stock when we get back. And when we get back, we do have Super Dave coming on a little bit later in the show, he helps run Gates to Recovery. And, you know, there's a few issues that are going on in Monroe County, and we're going to talk about them. And I'm sure, you know, people might be unaware of what's going on, but there are people who are in treatment right now getting sent back to Rochester because Monroe County will not let them do treatment outside of the county any longer.
Oh, wow.
So I made a post yesterday and I said they might as well send them back with a freaking body bag and a toe tag, because that's what it's like. This is life and death, and I'm not sure a lot of people really grasp that, but we're about to talk about it when we get back. Keep being the change, guys. See you in a minute.
How long do we have?
What?
How long do we have?
We have 7 minutes and 26
I had to
seconds.
pick the longest song in the world, didn't I?
I had to find the shortest version of it.
Yes, did that on purpose. Like hoping.
Free. Why isn't it playing now? Oh wait, yeah, it is. Okay. I was like, what's going on? Yeah. Hi guys, thank you for tuning in. Anything you guys want to touch on when we come back, feel free to. We had
I
a
sent
full
the
house. You did?
Yeah, so
Let me see. Oh, there we go. Approved. Yeah. So Dave is not back here yet, but he'll be soon. You are a natural. Great job.
You did great.
So this is live on my page too, now, right?
Yay.
I'm on my
He's
page, right?
here.
You're connected.
So how do I get to my page?
I'm going to have you. Yes. Yeah.
I am? Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to have. Hold on, let me see.
There's one open mic.
Okay. Yeah, come on. There's an open mic right in here.
It might be that there's a radio station, like,
You did good.
I'm going to have, honey, can you slide that way? Either way is good. And then. Here, you sit here, Dave.
Dave, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
A lot of work, but all right.
I'm going to put this in here.
Check us out, guys.
Thank you. My fun,
Felix.
I got, my hair is a mess right now. But I got my fusions done. Thank you, Colleen. So Dave, when Dave comes back, we're going to talk about what's going on in the county, because it's not good, and we're really scared for the people who are still in the community and actively using and trying to get help. So
Yeah, it is.
Does Dave know what he's got to do? You got him all set up?
Thank you.
Yeah, I
He
feel
has
like
his own
that.
show.
Oh, okay, perfect. As long
I
as
don't know if it's working.
Oh, sorry. Someone tried to beep in.
Hello?
we just violated every
Okay,
code
so,
possible.
I know.
I don't know where anything is. to
we
help you.
worked all day, obviously, so we're all getting back
Code
into
violation has
things.
just been committed.
I think I am totally sunburnt and exhausted.
Not part of that one.
We have 4 more minutes left. If there's anything you guys want to talk about or want us to discuss, go ahead and throw it in the comments, and we will make sure that we touch on it. Yeah, Scott, those are definitely great things to do, is go to meetings and talk to people. Brandon goes to Recovery Fitness, which is huge in his recovery, and they're amazing there.
Big role models and ride with up to, especially
Yeah, I know.
Craig, we will do anything we can to help anyone we can. That's what we do. And
I got you right now. I'll call you back.
yeah, that's a really hard situation. And unfortunately, until people are ready,
Every 3 days we should go.
all we can do is just love them through it. Sometimes we have to take a step back from them. Yeah, and
Everybody
it's
on my
too
page
hard
is
because
probably gonna
an
be on
addict
Saturday.
can pull us in almost quicker than we can pull them out.
And enabling hurts just as
So
much.
can they hear me
Right.
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of our rules for when we go out and
Minute to
clean up,
win it.
we don't bring
Minute
cash.
to win
We
it.
won't give cash to anyone.
I
Drinks,
myself.
food, other things like that. We're all about clothes, survival gear, everything. We'll
Yeah,
do
so I guess,
anything like
I mean, my
that,
advice
but
is
money is a
keep
whole
going,
different
keep going.
story,
Keep going,
and we
'cause
won't
I'm
enable
telling you,
drug use.
when I was using that,
Um,
I wasn't getting nowhere.
we have. I'm probably gonna cut this down short because it's so long.
How long have you been out
Yeah.
there, honey? Maybe a month? Oh, has it been longer than
How long
that?
you been?
What?
Clean?
Okay.
So,
Well, then
yeah,
I might
so
have,
like,
it's a minute.
I bought 2 cars already.
Left.
Oh.
We have a minute left.
I can't
Like-
the cat.
1
You know
minute.
like cats? I love my cats.
Well, no, okay, so I had like 5 cats, and they used to like in the
July
middle of the
fixed
night
How many?
attack my fucking
Huh?
face.
How many did you have?
Not mine, but they used to attack my face. So I'm like,
I thought it was because of the birds from yesterday.
Recovery.
So
Recovery.
no way they
Freedom.
like 1 o'clock.
Oh, somebody's got one, my friend.
I was in a word in my way, but I couldn't do it. Freedom
Uh,
from drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
There's parts of one of the rest of the song, by the way.
Right.
Tim's friend.
Yeah,
I got
him.
I got him going down again.
All right, thank you.
Oh, we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Stay in tune, folks. I'm not guessing.
No.
Guess.
And we're back.
Oh, it's late.
And Dave's in the house.
Hey, what's up, Dave?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm in the house. I gotta.
figure out how to turn this thing down right over here. Holy cow.
Like better?
How's
Is that
everybody?
better? You're good. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Okay. Oh, did I lose? Okay, maybe I've lost. All right.
I'm so glad you
Okay.
came. So
I'm liking the hair today.
isn't it fun? I got extensions.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great.
I had so much fun doing it. I think I'm gonna dread them out and like go super crazy.
There you go.
We go stuff.
Why not? I think I should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, let's
I
do
think
it
you can do it.
together.
All right.
Dread it out for home stop.
I don't know.
I think it would be fun.
So,
Brandon, you're not feeling the dreads?
Nah.
Microwave,
can
something. Okay, so I contacted Dave last night because I've been trying. We have our hotline, and we've been trying to get people into treatment the past couple days. And normally, the places that we go through are telling us that that Monroe County is not doing out of county treatment. And we actually had one guy sent back this afternoon, and we have another one getting sent back Monday. And these are people who were in really bad situations, and there's no plan set up for them. And I'm terrified for them. And I reached out to Dave last night and was like, are you guys going through the same thing? And he said, yes. And dude, this is not okay.
no. Usually, what they do is there's what they call with DSS is sort of like a soft pass. If we got to go into another county, and they've been doing it, no problem. But now, since we have no beds available, basically
Right.
with detox and medical detox, which of course the counties comeback on that is, well, not everybody needs to go into medical detox. But I mean, right now with this crisis that we have, 99% of the people need to go to a medical detox.
Right.
When you're dealing especially when you're dealing with the heroin, because I mean, right now our suicide rate is huge.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'm going to say probably most of that suicide rate is coming from people that are trying to withdraw on their own, or just know that they can't get into a treatment. In fact, there was a suicide yesterday of someone that I know.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So it's the same thing happened to me when I relapsed and I ended up going out to an ATC, at the Addiction Treatment Center. If you go to an addiction treatment center, they have to keep you because of the state. So they got to keep you, whether you have insurance or not.
Right.
They have to keep you on that. But still, I got threatened after I think day 17 that DSS wasn't going to pay. And so I ended up staying though because the state. They said, "Don't worry, the state will take care of it." As soon as I got out of there, just because I had time before, they put me into supportive living in Oneida, which was fine with me. And I realized geographical change isn't always the answer. You always take yourself wherever you go. So,
Right.
I look at it that way. But for me, it was good. It was a good geographical change.
Yeah.
I ended up going into Oneida into a private program up there that is actually run by Liberty Resources. And I went into that program, and it was great. Facility was great. The supportive living facility was great. And a month into it, they came back to me and they said, "You are going back to Rochester." And I said, "I'm in the middle of the You're coming back to Rochester." And I said, "Where am I going to go?" And they said, "Well, we'll put you up at the Hotel Cadillac." And I said, "Like hell, you don't put me up at the Hotel Cadillac.
Right.
I'll live on the street before I go into that."
Right.
So there, unfortunately, the person that ran that program was out of town. But they ended up bringing me back here, and it took me 3 months to find another supportive living program that I could get into. And I did a lot of couch surfing, because I was not going to go over. But this is a major program and problem. If I had not had that support, I would have been
Oh
right
yeah.
back out.
Right.
No problem whatsoever. So this is where the problem's coming, and of course, Dr. Mendoza, who he's a nice guy. I'm not a big fan of his, but he's saying that there's other ways. There's outpatient. There's this way. I totally disagree.
Right, and it
Yeah,
seems
me
like
too.
they're trying to push methadone, which I don't,
Methadone?
know,
Are you
yeah,
serious? They're trying to push
Yeah.
that?
Methadone's going to be the big one that they're pushing. This new injectable Suboxone is going to be one that they're pushing.
I've heard about that.
If we want to go to it, I mean, and again, this isn't your guys' opinion, but my opinion. We have a health director that works for U of R Medicine.
right,
He runs Highland Family Medicine. To me, that's a conflict.
right,
How can you be the health director with an opinion that isn't really influenced by your employer? And let's face it, his employer is the big methadone.
right,
So I mean, am I calling conspiracy theory here? No, I'm just saying. I'm just stating the facts. The guy works for U of R. Hey, he's our county health director,
mhm,
and then there's a huge push right now on methadone,
right.
which I don't agree with either. But
I thought methadone was being phased out.
No. In fact, if anything, it's being rebirthed.
Phased in.
Yeah,
Right.
and I know people. I know one guy actually that is in the station actually who's been on methadone for 27 years.
Yeah.
And that's and he says it saved his life, and that's great. But I
Right.
still got to think that you're missing out on life, because
Yes.
what all methadone is synthetic heroin.
Right.
That's all it is.
Legal synthetic heroin.
So you're still high. You're still high, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong. So this is, but it's a cheap way for the county. County doesn't have to, doesn't have to pay another county to put up someone who needs treatment.
Right. And, it's not that I don't support short-term use of some of these detox drugs, but that's what they were made for, is
Short-term.
detox, short-term drugs.
Right.
And I don't feel that they should be used for years or months or, I don't know. And maybe I'm wrong too, but I don't know.
I think you need. If you're going to put if somebody's going to go on to an MAT, or they're going to go on to Suboxone or even Vivitrol or methadone, as far as I'm concerned, as soon as you get on, there should be a plan to get off.
Yeah.
And that plan should be done with your doctor, with yourself, and if you go 12-step, your sponsor. Just so there's some accountability.
But in
Right.
my experience, they don't do that really.
The doctor usually, the doctors don't follow any of the rules especially with Suboxone.
Yeah.
We have 250 doctors now that are allowed to prescribe. You're supposed to be bringing back to the doctor every month all your strips, the bags for the strips
Right.
and all. Tell me what doctor does that.
Right.
Some of them do.
Mine did
Well,
when I was an
only at
outpatient.
first.
They definitely did
when
that.
you're an outpatient.
At
Yeah.
first, though,
And even when but quickly they realized that I was allergic to just like the Suboxone strip, so they prescribed me like the pills. But even with the pills, they only prescribed the exact amount to the next day.
Which they have to, and
Yeah.
I can understand that. But are they really following all the directions that they're supposed to? Maybe in the beginning they are, but I'm not seeing it happen.
I think it's just
Well-
like how human beings, it's like a hit or a miss with certain doctors are gonna do some shady shit,
Right.
shady stuff. And then there's going to be some doctors that actually really take the accountability, just like how there's counselors that really are there to help every individual that they see. And then there's some that they want to help, but they could care less.
I think every Sunday that we're out on Clinton, I don't think there's been a Sunday where we haven't been offered to purchase Suboxone from someone.
Yeah, every week.
Yeah. And what is their new big plan that they're offering too? Is that when somebody comes into an emergency room, there's the talk of the plan of what they'll do is give them a 5-day script for Suboxone. And it just to me that's careless. It's just, I mean, some people maybe Suboxone is, some people maybe methadone is, some people maybe Vivitrol, but now you're sort of forcing that.
See, I never had, I guess that addiction. My question is, you said your friend there had the methadone for 27 years.
Yep.
I mean, is that really necessary? 27 years?
Some people. Here's
I don't
the
know.
way it's been described to me. In New York State, in every county is allowed to. The county sets how long you stay on. Okay, so in this county, from what I'm told, Suboxone is 3.5 years. It should no longer be than 4
Wow.
years.
For what?
That sounds really long.
It does sound really long.
Because my whole thing is, I would think that you'd be getting tapered off of it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
why I'm asking that question.
Right.
In Monroe County, methadone is life.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Okay.
then also from people from like the 90s that were prescribed it.
Right.
The methadone was totally different than what it is
Now, if you go to another county, methadone may be 5 years that they have it. But
Oh, I know
here
that.
we have U of R Medicine, which is the only methadone clinic, but there are more opening in town right now. So of course they're our biggest employer. So of course they're, and that's why I feel it's done as life here. Getting off methadone is worse than getting off heroin.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it
Yeah,
goes
I've
right
heard
to
of-
your bone marrow.
I mean,
Right.
even when you get your dosage in the morning, when you have to go to the methadone clinic, I've talked to numerous of them, and they're like, yeah, for a brief moment, I'm pretty high. Off
Yeah,
of it."
because from the people I've experienced and seen, I've seen them like when they're not on it, they seem like they're fine. Like they're kicking their drug, but they seem alert, talkative, whatever. But then they'll go in that room and get their little script or whatever, and they're like zombies.
Mhm.
And I'm like, what's the point of that? If he was just fine, but I don't understand that.
I mean, that's the same for Suboxone, too. It's just like a lot less of a reaction.
Well, right, and I think the difference with Suboxone and methadone is Suboxone you can't use on it, but methadone you can, and it's almost as if they expect you to test dirty for heroin as well with this methadone.
Well, they're both considered opiates too, so that explains why when after they take their dose, they're going to look a little slower, like Ingrid was saying with zombies, because methadone and Suboxone themselves are both opiates.
And then
I love
there's
that
people
more-
that abuse them too.
I love
Oh,
more that
absolutely.
more people are doing the Vivitrol, though. Like, that's a positive right there. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want anyone to be on anything. I think after a certain period of time, if you haven't reached those resources that are available to you other than maintenance drugs, then, like, something's going wrong, and maybe you should talk to people about it.
But here's the whole thing. This is why I bring this all together, is because the county's just trying to. They're basically saving money. Is basically what they're
Oh,
doing.
yeah.
So we get back to the whole thing of sending people into treatment, and in the middle of their treatment pulling them out. And they're doing this again with the maintenance drugs and stuff like that. That's going to be the big county's big answer to put everybody on maintenance drugs. Put them all on, that. But right now, I mean, we have a serious problem with people being pulled out of treatment. You
Right,
can't pull somebody right out of treatment. What do you expect is going to happen?
right.
Right.
You haven't given them the. You see, the problem with this whole crisis is there's so many problems.
Right.
And
Yeah.
there's so many needed answers. And see, that's why I personally, and I think you agree with me on this, Steph, is we need a drug czar.
Yes.
We need somebody that can sit there, and they don't even need to be involved in the addiction practice. We just need somebody that's organized, that is going to demand answers out of people,
Yes.
and demand progress out of people.
Yeah.
Personally, I think that guy is Mark Cassini, just because he comes from a financial background. He knows finances. He knows how to keep things organized. He's a people person, and he's got passion for this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
We need somebody that is going to be able to say, okay, DSS, what are your answers to this? Why are you doing this?
Right.
Okay, emergency rooms. What are we going to be doing? What is the best solution? I mean, really, the only people right now that have anything going right now is probably law enforcement. They're the only ones making any difference in this.
Yes.
And we keep falling behind and falling behind by everything else. Why is Erie County having a 33% decrease in deaths? And why are we not? We're heading actually probably 33% over than last year.
Right.
Sounds about right.
We need to look at these things. I mean, Cheryl Denolfo says, other cities across the U.S. are calling here to say, oh my God, we want to model after your program. What is she smoking? Is she? I mean, she's out of her mind.
Give them the treatment.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Right.
So. I mean, and the thing is we need to account these people. We need to hold these people accountable.
Absolutely.
If they're going to be our leaders, if they're going to be our election, our people that speak for us, they're not doing their job. As far as I'm concerned, they came out with a couple different things, and now let's just keep sweeping it under the rug.
Mm-hmm.
Again, law enforcement to me is the only one that has this going right now. They are not looking for incarceration. They're looking to get you into treatment.
We couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I mean, Todd Baxter, Chief Van Breder, they got it going on. But we need everybody to have it going on.
Right.
Why is someone like right now when we get, at least this was a few months before, I don't believe it's changed. But we need those numbers. We need those numbers of how many deaths, how many overdoses, how many Narcan saves. We need those every month. As of a few months ago, Strong Hospital ED refuses to give us those numbers. They refuse to give any overdose numbers that they get in.
That's so crazy.
Why? Because mainly they can get all these people more into the methadone. Is my feeling. The other cases, how much are we losing? How many resources and how much money are we losing because we don't have those numbers?
Right.
But again, why doesn't anybody say anything? Because they're our biggest employer in town. But the fact of the matter is we're losing people left and right. It goes back to, I mean, how many people we lost? Over 170 people last year, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the biggest health crisis that we've ever had. If you look at it, this town has a plan for, the flu virus. My God, how many people died in that? Maybe 11 people. Okay, I'm not putting down their deaths at all. But I am saying we had a plan. We were ready to open up, 10 cities outside of the emergency room in order to get all these people going. The Zika virus. How many people died of that?
Right.
One.
Yeah.
One, there was a plan. There was a big plan. There's a plan if a plane drops out of the sky.
Right.
And drops into this town. But there's no plan for this. And the thing is this is the biggest public health crisis that we have had in this area. And why is it? Why don't we have a plan? If you walk into an emergency room and you have chest pain, okay, you are going to walk out of there with a treatment plan.
Exactly.
If you have diabetes and you screwed up, you go into the hospital, you're going to walk out with a treatment plan.
Yeah.
If you're an addict and you walk in and you overdose, you get released.
Yeah.
With no plan whatsoever.
Right.
And if it wasn't for that miracle drug Narcan, how many deaths would we have?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So much higher.
I mean, we had 1,400 saves last year. That'd be 1,400 more deaths.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying people need to become responsible for what it is. And, like I was talking to you last night, Steph, I really think we need to, just go to the public with this.
Yeah.
And explain what's happening and show these people and show these families.
I mean, what gets me so upset is that, the public doesn't know what's going on. And then when you do go